What will happen if China starts to attack the Philippines? There would be a military conflict. A military conflict between China and the Philippines would likely be a one-sided affair, with China's superior military power giving it a significant advantage. China has the world's largest military by active personnel and a rapidly modernizing force. Its navy is particularly powerful, with a large number of warships, submarines, and aircraft. The Philippines, on the other hand, has a smaller military focused on territorial defense. It would likely struggle to match China's firepower in a sustained conflict. However, the Philippines has a few potential advantages. 1. Familiarity with the terrain. The Philippines would have the advantage of familiarity with its own territory, including the islands and waters in the South China Sea that are in dispute. 2. Potential U.S. involvement. The Philippines has a mutual defense treaty with the United States, which could obligate the U.S. to come to its aid in a conflict with China. This could significantly alter the balance of power. Now let's talk about the possible effects of a military conflict in both countries. Economic impact. An armed conflict between China and the Philippines would have severe economic repercussions for both countries, as well as the wider region. Here's a closer look at the potential economic fallout. 1. Disrupted trade. The South China Sea is a vital shipping lane for global trade. Conflict would disrupt these routes, leading to delays, higher shipping costs, and potential shortages of goods. 2. Investment decline. Businesses would likely be hesitant to invest in the Philippines or China due to the instability and uncertainty caused by the conflict. This could stifle economic growth in both countries. 3. Impact on tourism. The Philippines' tourism industry, a major source of income, could be severely impacted by the conflict. Tourists would likely avoid the region due to safety concerns. 4. Sanctions. The international community might impose sanctions on China in response to its aggression. This could further damage China's economy and disrupt its trade relations with other countries. The economic impact of a conflict would likely be felt for years to come. The Philippines, with its smaller and less diversified economy, would likely be more severely affected. Humanitarian crisis. A military conflict between China and the Philippines could cause a significant humanitarian crisis, with devastating consequences for civilians. Warfare would inevitably lead to casualties among both military personnel and civilians. The intensity and duration of the conflict would determine the scale of human suffering. The fighting could displace large numbers of Filipinos from their homes, forcing them to flee to safer areas within the Philippines or even abroad. This would create a strain on resources and lead to overcrowding in evacuation centers. Basic services like healthcare, sanitation, and food supplies could be disrupted due to damaged infrastructure and displacement. This would worsen the living conditions of many Filipinos, especially the most vulnerable populations like children, the elderly, and the sick. The conflict could also damage agricultural land and disrupt fishing activities, jeopardizing the livelihoods of many Filipinos. This could lead to food shortages and worsen malnutrition, particularly among displaced populations. International pressure. In the event of a China-Philippines conflict, China would likely face intense international pressure from various actors. The international community would likely condemn China's military actions and impose economic sanctions. These sanctions could target trade, investment, and individual Chinese officials. Fortunately, there are paths towards de-escalation. 1 is open communication. Direct and transparent communication between China and the Philippines is essential. 2. International pressure. The international community can play a role in urging both sides to adhere to international law and find peaceful solutions. And lastly, legal solutions. Resolving disputes through international courts and tribunals can be a long-term strategy for achieving a stable resolution. The security of the South China Sea is vital for all nations in the region. Regional cooperation on issues like maritime security, resource management, and peaceful dispute resolution can help prevent conflict and foster a more stable environment for everyone. It's important to remember that conflict has human consequences. The individuals living in the disputed territories and the surrounding regions have the most to lose. While the situation in the South China Sea is complex and concerning, there's always hope for a peaceful resolution. Let's work together to navigate these troubled waters and build a future where diplomacy, not conflict, prevails. Like this video and subscribe to my channel for more thought-provoking content. Until next time, let's all be advocates for peace.